in case you ever wondered what 1,000 tulip bulbs looks like. That is 1,000 red tulip bulbs. Tell me that does not look so charming. Hi there, YouTube. I wanted to show you guys our tulip display this year because we planted 2,000 tulip bulbs. And when I say I've never gotten more compliments on our garden before, I've never gotten more compliments on our garden, and I don't think it's ever looked better. So I wanted to show you guys exactly what we purchased and how we accomplished this look. So here in the front bed, we have probably about 750 mixed tulips that we got from Bulb Farms. They were all supposed to be just like single tulips, but a lot of them ended up being these doubled white, creamy white, yellowish looking tulips that actually ended up being really, really pretty. I'm actually so excited that they had these white ones and they actually were dispersed pretty evenly throughout the mix, to where although this is rainbow, it really does look like a set pattern. It doesn't look like these are random at all because there's these creamy white, yellow tulips that tie everything together. These started blooming on April 4th and it is currently April 24th, so they've been blooming a little bit over 2 weeks, almost 3 weeks, and they still look really, really good. I'm actually going to cut some today and bring some inside. I've already cut one bouquet, but with 2,000 tulips, I mean, we deserve it. We planted everything in batches up here, which I think that I like better because I think it just makes a more dynamic impact having big bunches of tulips like this. We planted some single red ones in our grass pathway along our house, which I'll show you guys as well. But I really think that this bulk method is going to be the way that I do it from now on. First off, it's just easier to plant tulips that way because you dig one big hole, toss in the tulips, and you have all your tulips here. You know what I mean? Instead of having to dig a single hole for every single tulip. That gets to be a lot when you've ordered as many as I did this year. I will say I got a really good deal on them because I ordered them off season. I think I ordered these in September. And we did some trenches up here, which I actually really, really like the effect of these trenches as well. I think that that's a really dynamic way to plant tulips, and I think we'll do a lot more of those in years to come. In our center island bed, we have muscari and white tulips. We have some double pink tulips in there as well. And then we have some Queen of the Night tulips, which haven't opened just yet, but that'll give us something to look forward to up here once all of these blow over, because I anticipate we probably only have a week, maybe 2 weeks life left out of these tulips. We planted a lot because tulips have come back really, really well for us here in Colorado. I think that we just get like the appropriate amount of chill hours for tulips to just perennialize really well. In fact, they don't just perennialize for us, they multiply heavily. So for every tulip bulb that we plant, there'll be 5 tulips next year, literally. Our forsythia, it's almost done with blooming. I mean, it pretty much is done. It was really, really pretty this year. And this year it was in bloom for a lot longer than it normally is. Normally our forsythias, literally, maybe I get a week and a half to 2 weeks worth of bloom out of them. This year, this was in bloom for a solid 3.5 weeks, which is very, very impressive. There's our house. And more tulips. Another trench right here. We also did so many because we live right next door to an elementary school. So we just thought that it would be nice for the kids to have something to look at that was super bright, because I feel like they don't get to see much of my garden because they get out of school in May. And then by the time they're getting out of school, my garden is just really getting started. I have an urn planted up right here. This is full of violas and pansies, which I actually grew from seed this year, and I'm really impressed. They are super pretty. They're actually filling out really, really well. Oh, there's my first pansy. Yay. That's so exciting. Once you leave the urn on the corner, we just finish off the corner with more rainbow tulips. And then, if you come around this way, you can see we have all red tulips. These are called red Sadov tulips. We have a couple interlopers in this batch. There's a double pink one right here that is super duper pretty. Truly, I wish they would have put more of that in there. There's also a pink one right here. But mostly all red, which is exactly what I wanted. I wanted this whole walkway to be red tulips. And we've got a ways to go. Like, there's still quite a few tulips that haven't bloomed yet. Pretty much stops like right here. This is the north side of our home, which is why these are a lot later than the ones on the front of our home. They just get way more sun. And then nothing on this side of the house has started to bloom yet, which I'm honestly really excited about because it's just made the show extend so much longer. In no way did I think when I planted 2,000 tulip bulbs that I would have a show like for literally 6 weeks is what I think we're gonna get. 6 to 8 weeks, which I think is just astounding and has brought so much joy to so many people who have walked by. I've just seen so many people, old, young, in between, just stop and point at the tulips and just admire them. So that's what makes me happy. I'll be sure to do an update once all of the red are in bloom all the way down, because I just feel like that's gonna be such a striking view, because we have this winding grass pathway and then both sides are just going to be lit up with red from literally the beginning portion of our property all the way to where it splits. And then we have another bed. We didn't do anything in here this year. There's a lot of work that needs to be done to this bed, mainly because we don't have any drip irrigation over here yet. Literally every other part of our property, the number one priority I had, we've been here for 3 years, and the number one priority I've had is to make sure that I have drip irrigation everywhere, because I do not like watering things. In particular, when you have as many plants as I'm trying to have, it's just not physically possible. I do not have that much time in the day. So we really try to put a drip system anywhere prior to planting it up. And the reason we really haven't done this area just yet is because there's this pathway right here, which I have an auger, and I can aug a hole in the ground, and I have a really, really long one that I actually purchased by accident to plant all these tulips, and then I ended up purchasing a way shallower auger. But I have a really, really deep one that I can use to burrow a hole underneath the sidewalk and put a drip tube, because we actually have some drip lying all throughout this bed. I can just kind of tap in and go under, and then finally have drip over here so that we can plant it up. Anyways, that was a long drawn out thing to say. We didn't do anything over here because there's just not any irrigation. Not that tulips really need much irrigation, but I just don't like to plant up spaces and then have to move things around, including tulip bulbs. I like to just have them in the ground. I know it's going to be a lot of leaves that I have to cover up, but I don't mind at all. We did not do any in this bed strictly because we did not have enough tulips. We only ordered 2,000 and they only go so far. So this bed didn't have anything. But then we did the entire health strip, which I'll show you guys. Just have to go around a car. But this is all planted up. And this is more of the rainbow tulips that are in the front, which I'm really excited about. So it's kind of nice that we split it up in a way where one half of the rainbow started to bloom really, really early on, and now we'll get this second wave because this is on the north side of our home with the red. So it won't just be red. I'm so excited. My flamethrower red bud is actually leafing out. So excited about that. And I'll go ahead to the back and show you guys some of the tulips that we planted 3 years ago when we first moved into the house, and show you guys that you can totally leave tulips in the ground. They actually get better over time. I don't know why I hear they just fizzle out, because some of my tulips have gotten better over time. They get bigger and just stronger stems. They look better every single year. So let me show you guys those. I'm sure it's probably a climate thing as to why a lot of people don't have luck perennializing tulips, but we've had a really, really good shot. So what I would say is at least try. Leave the tulip leaves there. We cut off the blooms. Make sure that we don't let them go to seed because that'll waste energy. And then leave the leaves there. Let them brown. And then once they're browned, you can cut them down to the ground. And they'll come back next year, or that's what they have done in my zone 5B. These are some tulips that are from our 3-year-old batch, and as you can see, they are really tall. The blooms are really, really big. Don't mind the form of them right now. These are kind of blown open. I promise you they looked really, really nice. Super tight. There's a couple fresh ones right there. But I feel like they've just gotten better and better over time. I really like this variety. We got it at a Home Depot, and it has variegated leaves, which none of my other tulips have variegated leaves. But we have this patch on the back of our house, and then there's 2 more. Actually, there's 3 more patches of tulips. I was like, there's only 2 more, but then I looked over and I was like, oh yeah, I forgot. We did plant some over here as well. These are from last year, and they're doing better this year. Last year, they were really, 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 really short. Kind of like this one right here, super short. They're a pale yellow and a pale white. I am not sure what the name of them are. If I can find the name of them, I will put it on the screen. I really like these white ones. In particular, some of the ones towards the back are they kind of got a nice point to them. I really like that. We have a lot more that haven't started yet. Some daffodils that we planted the first year as well. These are all from the first year in our house as well, so these are all 3-year-old tulips, and you can see they're big. That's a really big bud and a really, really long, sturdy stem. same with all of these. These are all third-year tulips. I'll be sure to show you guys this patch the minute it starts to bloom. And then back here by our shed, we have 2 beds of tulips right here. And these were called the Florist Mix from Tulip World. And I have to say, I really like them. There's a lot of doubles. Like, just look at that one. Oh my gosh, let me try to get it in the light. Like, just look at that. So pretty. I love the fringed one. We only have a couple fringed ones, and I think that they are so neat looking. Let's see if I can get a better shot of that. These were the Florist Mix as well, but they're mostly just red singles. But I'm not mad at them at all. They're really pretty. Then the final area over our cardboard mess. Don't look at this. This is going to eventually be a bed. It's going to be a bed this year, I promise. We're gonna take care of this. We're just trying to kill off some of the grass before we go in and layer it with all of that compost over there. Last patch is in this area, which will eventually be our courtyard. We intend to move this fence backwards where that bed that you saw outside that there was no tulips, bump this out, make this a nice patio area. And we're gonna brick it out in these bricks in a herringbone pattern like this. But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about tulips. So we tucked some of the red Sedov tulips right here. We have this right here, which, oh, I guess this was supposed to be all red Sedov tulips, but there's some interlopers. And some of these interlopers are really pretty. Like, look at that. That is a really pretty tulip. And there's a nice, pretty double, just like the one in the front. Another patch of red, and it has 1 white in it. The reds, I'm like, they have a lot of interlopers in them. Luckily, I'm not like a super control freak. I don't mind at all. Yeah, these were all supposed to be red, but there's definitely some rainbows in there. But yeah, that's the tulips on April 23rd. I'll be back out here probably in another 5 to 6 days to show you guys everything when it's in its glory. And my favorite thing about having 2,000 tulips planted in the landscape is that you can cut them and you won't really even notice that they're gone because we have so many. Just cut a couple from each bunch and you don't even notice them, and then you can enjoy them inside. Always make sure to cut your tulips at the end of the day or at the beginning of the day. So early in the morning or late in the evening. The sun is setting right now, so it's about the perfect time. You'll get a much better vase life out of them. I'm also making sure to keep some of the leaves intact so that the bulb can store up enough energy to bloom again next year, hopefully. These double ones are so pretty. And like, look at that already. Isn't that so pretty? I'll take that one too, because it's just like off to the side. And those are our 2 tulip arrangements. I think they turned out really, really pretty. And it smells amazing. Hi you guys, it's been a couple days, but I wanted to go ahead and close out this video. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. This was my very first video on this channel, and I know I made a couple of mistakes. There's a little bit of footage that's blurry. I'm getting used to it. I didn't know exactly where to look into for this camera. It's a brand new camera. I promise to improve, and I promise that I'm going to be posting very, very regularly on this channel, transforming my little Colorado cottage into something wonderful. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys around for the next video. Bye. Oh my gosh, you guys, one of my neighbors brought over this card, and this is the sweetest thing in the world, although my fiance's name is not Mark. She gave me this card, which I think is her original photography. She's given me cards with her photographs, I think, before. And then the note. Your yard and flowers is so beautiful. Thank you for sharing with the neighborhood. You are both so appreciated, Susan. See, that's exactly why I planted all those tulips.